So without further ado, I want to introduce one of my favorite professors. He's a guest that has been working with LSU students and student athletes for the last 20 years. He's mentored the biggest name in sports by far with Shaq, and he's probably a big reason that most of us are Bengals fans as of the last couple of years. And he is recently awarded Distinguished Instructor of LSU's marketing division, or marketing department, and Florida's MBA program. Without further ado, I've got the personal branding guru, Dr. Tommy Karam.
As Matt said so nicely, I'm very lucky. I teach down at the local university, and I've been able to trick them in to keep me for several years, and so it's been kind of a wonderful thing to have taught many of you and other good students just to be part of that nice place over there. But I'll never forget that teachers, we do whatever we do, pretend like we're busy and all this, but I'll never forget one day I'm at my office working real hard or whatever, pretending, and I hear a knock on the door. And I look over there, and there's this kid pokes his head in. This is a true story, just very, very nice and very simple, good kid. He goes very politely, he says, "Excuse me, they tell me you can help me be a better speaker. Would you mind helping me?" And I look at the kid, and I'm like, "Yeah, he's so nice, would you say no?" And so I'm like, "So what's going on?" He goes, "Well, they tell me I might have a good career when college is over, and I want to be a good speaker." That's kind of admirable for a little freshman or whatever it is. He's like, anyway. So I'm like, "Sure, you seem like a nice kid. So what's going on, or what's the problem?" He goes, "The problem with me is I stutter. And I think if I stutter, I can't be a good speaker. Unfortunately, I can't do stuttering. It's very, very hard. It's really complex, and I don't know how to do it." And I wanted to tell him that, but I didn't want to just say, "Look, go leave me alone," because he seemed kind of nice, and I didn't do that. So I said, "Look, I don't do stuttering, but I'll be more than happy to try to help you. So why don't you come on in, have a seat, but I'm sorry, what's your name, please?" He goes, "My name is Shaquille O'Neal, and I'm a member of the LSU basketball team." And back then, my dear friends, he was just Shaquille O'Neal. That's all he was, just a little 7-foot skinny, 300-pound freshman. He really was. I mean, he looked so frail compared. And this kid, you got to love this, thought he might have a good career when college is over. Anyway, so I'm like, okay. Thought, maybe. Anyway, so I thought, "Look, I'll be glad to work with you." So, but what do? We chit-chatted about stuff, and I said, "I got an idea. I'm going to put you on film, and I'm going to get you ready for, if you get lucky enough, and get you ready." And I saw something that changed my whole career. So I'm filming this little kid, and as I ask him a question, he's telling me these ideas that he hopes he'll be able to do, and that one day, and after about 5 minutes of this, and all those expressions he has, he stops in frustration. He goes, "See, all I do is stutter." And I looked at him and I said, "Look, I know nothing about stuttering, but I know this. You mumble, and you are cute as a button when you mumble." And what I saw there, was a guy who was an okay speaker, but he had this personal brand that was just captivating. It's captivating then, it's captivating now, it's captivating throughout his career. And I learned, okay, this public speaking stuff is good. This is more better. Personal branding is where we're at. Personal branding is this. It's what do people think of when they think about you. And y'all know this, but I'll remind you, I know nothing about social media. Social media is important, but that's not personal branding. There's a piece of it. I got this right here. I had it when I taught y'all, and I still have it. My life is boring. But anyway, I know nothing about social media except this. That little button you got on your phone that I got on my phone, if you press it and you're not careful, you'll destroy your brand, your company's brand, and your family's brand. That's all I know. Social media, absolutely critical, but I know nothing about it. I know a little bit about personal branding. What do people think of when they think about you? I think the concept is this. If there's something to remember, if I can leave you with two, if I over-deliver, it'll be two things, but one thing for sure, if I can leave you with one idea today, it's this. The key to personal branding, what do people think of when they think about you? What's more, they may know you by name. You don't wear your name tag all the time. They may not know you by name. They may know you by the company where you work. But regardless, they'll know who you are. What do they think about you? And I think the concept that you want to think about is a concept called likability. Likability is not the like button on your telephone. You made the Zuckerberg guy a billionaire, and that's wonderful. Go Tigers. But that's not it. It's cute. It's the cutest button in the world. But likability came before Zuckerberg was born. Likability came before the World Wide Web was invented. Likability, you may have heard of your companies. Likability is a 1960s incredible research topic. Likability is this, the emotional impact you have on somebody. The ability for somebody to look at you, like you enough to want to do business with you. Look at you, like you enough to be able to have that difficult conversation. We talk about this all the time. Everybody has difficult conversations. The customer relationships, interacting. Sometimes things are tough, and you want to have that difficult conversation so you can be likable but still have that emotional impact. Everybody gets likability confused with happy and giddy. It's good if you're happy and giddy, but it's not being happy all day long because sometimes you've got tough stuff you got to do. Likability is the emotional impact you have on somebody. The ability of that somebody to choose you I want to talk to rather than this person I want to talk to be able to engage with you, hire you, advance you, promote you, for you to persuade, sell, or negotiate better. So, the question of the day is, then therefore, what makes you likable? Let me help you. And you may already have it, but let me help you here. 38% of the emotional impact you have. 38%. Is 38% a good number? Miss 38 back in your college days. Miss 38 on an exam, and what'd you get? You didn't take my class. We curve in my class. We give you a B-. But here's, yes, you got to have, listen, I'm all for the curve. Bring back the curve in life. Anyway, but you know this, once you leave college, there ain't no curve. Your client, they don't curve. Your customers, they don't curve. It's a fastball aimed at the temple. You swing or you get hit. But anyway, so my point is 38% is a significant number. So let me ask just one question. And I know you know the answer, so just somebody just say it and we'll move right along. What do you think 38% of the most impact you have is judged according to? What makes your personal brand good? 38% falls into this category. What do you think it is? And you know the answer. Appearance. Say it again. Appearance. Hold on, that's wrong, and wrong.
I said yes.
And that's wrong too. Okay. Relatability, absolutely not. I like it though. I like listen, all your answers are good, but not for this 38%. That's why everybody misses this 38%. And they go through life going, and everything was great, but they didn't. I'm like, well, because you didn't remember not you, but y'all didn't remember the 38%. So what else could it be if it's not these answers, which are good for another question, but not this? I just heard something in the back. This table is now disqualified. That's 4. That's 3 wrong answers. So this is a dumb time. This is the dumb. Even curve, you're disqualified. Okay. Anybody else? I heard this and I heard that, and the answer is not yet. He said something else. Facial expression, smile. I like it, but not for this. So what else could it be? No, not yet. Resting, no, not yet. Oh, hold on. You're disqualified, but I got to bring them back. I'm bringing them back.
Voice?
That's it.
Hey.
Oh, don't act like you're smart. You had like 12 wrong answers. Now I'm real smart. I listen to 12. It's better than these other losers. Okay, this is it. Vocal delivery, my friends. Nobody ever pays attention to vocal delivery. You've got to pay attention. Listen, I'll leave here. If I saw you for breakfast in the morning, you'd forget the 38%. Nobody remembers it. It's just for some reason, nobody. So I'm going to spend 4 minutes and 12 seconds telling you why vocal delivery is important. Because if your tone, and we talk about tone of voice, we talk about voice. It's tone of voice. Tone of voice, you got to sound engaging, like you care. You got to deal with somebody, and people don't get it. They just don't get it. They don't get it, and they don't get it. I started out, y'all don't know this, I started out at LSU many years ago, pre-med. Came to LSU as an anxious, ambitious freshman. I was going to be a doctor. Oh, and I'd have been a good one. Except I dropped out of pre-med 3 days into college. So anyway, hold on. I'm smart in that I knew I couldn't do it. The books were big, the walk was far, the people were smart, and I didn't have a chance. So I dropped out. Yes, I'm a quitter, I'm a loser, and I did it. But had I been able to stay, and had I been able to pass, which neither were possible, I'd have been a great doctor. Because my dear friends, what number one skill other than medical knowledge, what's the number one skill that every good doctor has? Bedside manners. Tell me what bedside manners is. I'll tell you what it is, because I was pre-med for 3 days. Bedside manners is the ability for that person across from you who's sick and feels bad and hurt, for you to make them feel like you care. Here's the thing about doctors. I know you may be, you may not be, but it's not just, this bedside manner is not just reserved for doctors. Do you know this, that doctors get evaluated now? Doctors get evaluated. I don't want to anymore. Doctors who save your life, make you healthy, take care of your loved ones, get you back out there on the road, are evaluated, and they get cut up because they don't sound like they care. Other than this virus that happened and other than some rare disease, they're going to get you well. But yet patients cut them up because they don't care. They rush them. Tone of voice, bedside manners. It's for every industry, whatever your profession is. I'm here to say you got to be able to make sure that you don't fall prey to a couple of the traps, the barriers. I'll rattle them off real fast. Why doctors aren't any good. Their doctors are phenomenal. I wanted to be one. But why they get cut up and the customer, the patient, takes their business across the street to another hospital is because of boring. Same old thing over and over. No matter what you do professionally, you do the same thing over and over. That's why you're professionals. And so it's the same thing. And so we can fall into that the lull of being able to maybe just take it for granted. I'm not saying it's got to be rah-rah, but you got to be able to sound like you care and to sound like you're paying attention and you have something important to say, whether it's 8 in the morning or whether it's 4:30 in the afternoon, whether it's the first customer or patient or whether it's the 10th or 15th, or if you're Chick-fil-A back in Baton Rouge, which is unbelievable. Chick-fil-A, have you ever been to a Chick-fil-A on College Drive? You wait 1 hour for some chicken nuggets, and everybody's happy. It's the most incredible thing I've ever seen. I'm like, I don't get it. And it's that, you know how it goes. And everybody leaves there going, I'm like, it really wasn't their pleasure, and it really wasn't, but everybody's happy. I love it. I don't wait in line. I go next door to the other place. It's easy, but people love it. No matter whether it's fast food, it's health care, it's accounting, whatever it is, you got to have a tone of voice that's engaging. And you can't whine. Let me tell you what, I've stumbled across whining about 3 or 4 years ago, and can you believe somebody had the audacity to tell me that whine? I'm like, I don't. I think I do. I was told I whine. And then I started listening to whining. I don't know if you whine. If you do, you'll hear it. Don't do it. It's real simple. But sometimes we whine because I don't know why we do, but sometimes we whine. I'm here to say, I never did before. I'm here to tell you right now, don't whine. And if you hear the whining, don't do it. If you hear the boring, don't do it. And lastly, here's the killer that nobody will ever tell you. Arrogance. You know that person. I'm here on the side of the person who's arrogant. I don't think they mean to be arrogant. I just think they push so hard to be seen as right, and they want their words to be seen as right and heard as right, that they push so much to come across, I think, as arrogant. I really don't think, maybe some people do. Anyway, those are the barriers to vocal delivery. Tone of voice, manage it, listen to it, and things are pretty good. But that's not why y'all invited me here. That's not why I came. I came because of this right here. This is 55% of the most impact you have. Miss 55 on an exam, and what do you get? A C minus, because we curve, because we don't want to see you again, and we're going to pass you on down the line. But this is, now you ready for this one? This is a quadruple your money back guarantee. Yes, quadruple your money back guarantee. 3 times your money back. That if you do this, everything that you do, both at work, at home, and all stops in between, gets just a little bit more better. I say more better because you're already good. But can we get this a little bit more better? The answer is, of course you can. Everybody can, and you should. So what do you think? And in my opinion, this is not being arrogant, but in my opinion, there's only one answer. One answer. What makes you likable? In an academically loving way, y'all are terrible, and y'all are disqualified. It's not vocal. It's going to be, say with me, it's going to be visual. So what do you think, my friends? The number one most critical element of visual delivery, of personal branding, a quadruple your money back guarantee. You do this, and everything you do gets just a little bit more better. What do you think it is? Tell me right now. I want to hear the answer. Say it again. Say it one more time. When you're the dumbest person in the room, that's what it sounds like. That is so wrong. It's so wrong. It's bad, it's wrong, and I'm here to say no, no, and no. Because of you, And you're a nice person, I know you are. These people are going to listen to you, and they're going to mess up. Because what he just said, I'm sorry, y'all going to leave going, well, whoever, I'm sorry, I can't read names. He told me, it's eye contact. And y'all going to leave here, and y'all going to start looking at everybody. And y'all going to say, hey, well, I got to have eye contact. Because he said got to have eye contact, so heaven forbid, got to have eye contact. So he said eye contact, so guess what you're fixing to get? Eye contact. You want some of that? He said it, I didn't. You heard him. I didn't say that. So I'm saying right now, enjoy your 7-Up, and that's it. You're disqualified. Come to loser's table right here. Here's what. Here's the danger in eye contact. I know you get it. And later I'll give you partial credit. Later, like a lot later. But anyway, what's the problem with eye contact? The problem with eye contact is
Eye contact.
right. But I mean, that's good. He's good. But what do you want with eye contact? You know what you want with eye contact? What do you want?
Smile.
You want the person to smile, right? What else do you want? You want them to nod like, yeah. What else do you want? You want them to look enamored like, oh, breathtaking, right? You're not getting it. Because the patient is sick, they're hurting, the customer is angry and mad, the other person doesn't know what they're doing, and so when you're looking with your eye contact, as you're looking around the room, trying to find that one person who looks like they're engaging. And then what do? You pounce, and you forget about everybody else. And you ignore those people who are really paying attention. So that was a long answer to no. So it's not eye contact. It's not personality. Dress. I heard dress. I like all these. Y'all are so close. You're so close. What is the number one quadruple, your money back guarantee, number one element for good visual delivery, which will enhance your personal brand?
Can this be done on the phone?
No, it can't be done on the phone. That'd be vocal delivery. You better go with your one answer. That's the only good answer you'll ever have for today. But that's okay. Run with that. You did well on that one. What else? Tell me.
Personal hygiene.
Oh, my God.
Solidarity with the dumb table. Amen.
That would be Dumb and Dumber right there. High five. I'm going to say, in an academically loving way, no. I heard something else in the back of the room, which is just as bad as theirs. Why would you say hand gestures? Because I'm doing this? No. Come on, think. Body language? Who said that? No. Absolutely. You know why? Because him in his eye contact, you're now doing the body language thing, and so you're going to go around the room. Up, see that guy? Arms crossed. He don't care. See him, her left leg is crossed and arms there. I read somewhere that means they're disattached to the audience. And then him, he's got his hands in his pocket. That means I'm finished with you. And because of your body language, we try to read, and we try to look for that person who has that no. So long answer, no. It's good, but you'll get in trouble because of you. The two of y'all get everybody in trouble. One last wrong answer I got to tell you because y'all. No, you can't listen. I'm sick and tired of that listen thing. Yes, you got to listen, but I'm just kidding. Not really. But anyway, no, you got to listen. But how about this? What helps you listen better? What makes people think y'all are done? What makes people think you're listening? I heard it over here. No. No, well, smile. I know you're yelling, smile, but what if you go tell your staff, guess what? We've got to cut back on 20% of our employees. No, I get it. You're so close. You had it. Tell them again. You said it and you forgot it. No, yes, but no, this will make you approachable. No, you can't do two in a row.
Sincere.
This will make you sincere or pathetic. Excuse me. Who? Empathy, what's that?
You're acknowledging.
Whatever. Okay. Thank you. And she says it just so innocently. It's facial expression.
Which is technically body language.
No, it's technically not body language. Technically, I'll give you. We're going to pass you. Listen, we're passing you no matter what. But technically, it's not. I guess technically it is. But I'm going to say technically it's not. I'm going to say facial expression. It into itself is it. For quadruple your money back guarantee. Facial expression. How many times has somebody come to you and said, what's wrong? They walk up to you and go, what's wrong? Because you look miserable, you look angry, you look pouty, you look disrespectful, like you don't care. And they go, why? Nothing. How about the Tigers? And they move on. What they want to say is you never look happy. You never look engaged. You don't sound whiny, you look whiny. Facial expression will define you. My friends, we call it back at the local university, we call it your default look. Your default look is that everyday look you have when you're not presenting. And many times you're not presenting. You're in meetings. You're listening to clients, customers, colleagues. Your facial expression is that I know you got that little GBT or whatever it is. I know that's one of the looks that you have. That's one. But you also have angry, arrogant, happy, engaging. I do sports, a lot of sports. I do professionals, a lot more professionals. And so no matter where you are, you can be intense. I'm not a big fan of his just because he's my arch rival, but Eldrick Woods, you remember Eldrick, Tiger Woods? He was intense. I'm not saying be intense, but you can be intense and be likable. On the other extreme, down the river, down the road, wherever that place is, in New Orleans, you always have this little quarterback about that tall, bad arm. He was there about 12 years, 14 years. He won one Super Bowl. One. But yet, is he worth every penny y'all paid him? By the way, I love Drew Brees. I love him. He's the best, period. But he only won one Super Bowl. He was my hero. I could have been Drew Brees, but my NFL career was cut short in the 4th grade. But I could have been that guy. I know what Drew Brees is fantastic. We won one Super Bowl. Who cares? What did he do for us, New Orleans and the Saints and the NFL and every company he touches? So you can be Eldrick, you can be Drew, you can be, I love her. I love her. I thought Lolo Jones, remember Lolo Jones from the days? Man, Lolo in today's world, she had it. She has a little bit, but during her heyday, she was on the cover of Time magazine. So you got to figure out what your brand is going to be, and you can hit any of these categories. My friends, your default look will define you. It's that first impression. It's that empathy or sympathy. It's that all the things you said, the ability to listen. My friends, I was at LSU for 24 years, working, employed, happily employed, before I figured out it was my default look that kind of limited my overall success. I was good, things were okay, but I never could quite get what I wanted. I never could quite elevate. I never could quite deliver what people asked me to deliver. Should I tell y'all? Nah, I can't tell you. I failed so many times in delivering. But anyway, I'll tell you. My good friend, who became a good friend of mine, the little tall, little skinny, 7-foot guy, who I started hanging out with a little bit, he came up to me one time and says, I got an idea. You know, he's a college dropout and had a part-time job. Anyway, he had a part-time job. They only play half a season. He came to me one year, and we was playing for Orlando. He says, I need your help. What's going on? He says, I want to build my mom a library at LSU. Will you help me? I'm like, sure. I don't do libraries, but I'd be glad to help you. He wanted to build his mama a library, a computer library. 1996, nothing but computers. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. You got to have books. No books. We argue back and forth whether you have a book or not. So at the end, he said, I'll give you one pocket dictionary, but everything else is libraries. He says, how much? I said, I haven't a clue. Well, $15 million, get it to me. I said, 16 and I'll get you a library. He goes, wait, he was going to write a check for $16 million, but I couldn't deliver the message to whoever it was that Shaquille was serious about a library, and then they just wrote it off like, you're just kidding. I'm not kidding. He really wants to make money. He wants a library for his mother. And nobody took me seriously. You see a library at LSU with Shaquille O'Neal's mama's name on it? Nope. I blame me because I was inept. I blame me because I didn't know there was my default look that limited me. I'm here to tell you, look, you're successful. I'm okay. I'm not terribly bad, but I miss on so many things when you want to influence and persuade and have an impact on somebody and deliver a good message. So in 2007, remember back then, we won the national championship. We beat up on Ohio State over in the Superdome. Matt Flynn was the quarterback, Les Miles was the coach, and they had a defensive player named Ricky Jean Francois, who was the defensive MVP. Ricky Jean Francois played the game of his life. He wasn't even the best player on defense. He was like the third best player. We had two first-round draft picks. But Ricky Jean Francois just was phenomenal. He was a defensive MVP. When it was over, LSU asked me would I work. I do this just kind of for fun because I help the players get ready for the interviews if they need it, if they want it. And they said, would you help this guy get ready for his interview? Because they knew Matt Flynn was good and Les Miles was good, but this guy had never been interviewed and they wanted him to be good. My friends, do they want these athletes to be good because they care about the athlete or they care about the brand? A little bit of both. Hold on. A little bit of both. In fairness, a little bit of both. But they care about the brand. They want Ricky G. Francois to be an extension of the LSU brand. They want Drew Brees to have been an extension of the New Orleans Saints brand. You are an extension of your company's brand. That's why you got to be good, and you got to understand what your default looks. You got to know what your personal brand is, because you're an extension of the company. So I said, I'd love to do it. It's what I do. I wait around. This is going to be a Saturday. It's going to happen. So I wait around Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. No Friday. There's no Ricky Jean Francois. So I go see my friends in football. Oh, by the way, I'm very lucky, fortunate. I know most of the athletes. I have a little corner of the weight room I get to work out. I power lift like 30. Anyway, but I make it look like 40. I'm pretty good. And so I know the players, and I build this relationship of trust. But anyway, I'd never seen this guy in my life. I didn't know who he is. So I couldn't really reach out to him. So I go see my friends in football. And they go, friends in football. Coach wants to work with this guy, Ricky Francois. I don't know who he is. I say, we got him. He's going to show up tomorrow, which will be Saturday. But they said, but I tell you what, it took us a while to get him to do this. I said, look, I know. I do it all the time. He's nervous, and he doesn't want to do it. And they go, that's not it. Then there's only one other answer. He's very good, and he doesn't need it. And they go, and that's not it. So I asked them, I said, so what took so long? And they go, here's the deal. Y'all don't know me. I'm thin-skinned. I'm a coward. I don't take criticism. I can't do feedback. I'm a wimp. But anyway, so you got to coddle me. And so they go, here's the deal. Now, y'all know, we love you here. Everybody loves you. Okay, I'm ready. So here's the thing. He doesn't like you. I mean, it hurts your feelings a little bit, but also it hurts your feelings because tomorrow, which is Saturday, this guy ain't going to show up, and if he does, he ain't going to listen to me. So I'm like, wow. I'm like, okay. I don't know why. Did I tell you I've never seen him? Did I tell you I've never seen this human being in my life? But he doesn't like me. And they said he said it with feeling. It's okay. I said, I got this. I've danced with others harder than I can do this. So I'm leaving. My word of honor, as I'm walking out, they said, oh, by the way, one more thing you might want to know before tomorrow. I'm like, what's that? They go, we think you're the best. We love you. I'm like, okay, here he comes. I'm like, there's more. They said, just one more thing you need to know. He says, not only does he not like you, he thinks you are one mean dude. I want you to look at one mean dude. So anyway, now for a brief moment, I've never had this. I'm like, yeah, but then, no, you don't want, it doesn't work. I'm sitting here going, now this is going to be a bad day. So I show up on Saturday. I get there early. I park in between the lines. It's only me in the whole parking lot. And out of respect, I'm angling my car to get it perfect, out of respect. I go in there. I'm looking out the window, out the door, waiting until 10 o'clock because I know he's not showing up, but I'll outwait him. And sure enough, 10 o'clock, this car pulls up, doesn't park beside the line, just parks, gets out, and this big old guy comes, I was athletic, baggy gear. He starts his walk in. As he starts that walk in, let me tell you what, he is 6'3", 298 pounds of muscle wrapped in anger, wrapped in muscle. And he thinks, I'm one mean dude. Anyway, I see him coming. I do what everybody would do. I kick the door open. I flash a smile. I throw out my hand. I give him that hearty, Ricky Francois, Tommy Karam, how you doing? He won't shake my hand. He looks at me like I'm that quarterback he's going to hurt one day, in a football game, and he just stares at me. Wow, that ain't good. But you got to have, that's what we call a difficult conversation. And so you got to maintain your poise. So anyway, we're walking in. I said, I can make this work. It's not going to be good, but I'll make it work. Remember, if your memory is good, 38% of your ability to be likable is tone of voice. So watch this play out live in front of me on a beautiful Saturday morning. As we're walking in, I have this throwaway line. Just trying to build a relationship, let him know. And so I said, look, I know you don't want to be here. And he goes, you're right. Be sure and tell somebody you're right. Or tell them what. Or tell them please. Or tell them, are you kidding me? Or tell them, psst. That's all it takes. That's tone of voice. It's not yelling and screaming. That's easy. It's that what? Please. No. Or the no. There's 7 ways to say no, and 6 of them they'll hate you forever. You can say no. You got to say no. No is it. No is definitive. I'm not saying not to say no, but there's a way to say no that doesn't blow up the ship. Anyway, this guy, you're right. Now I'm really stirred. So we go and we sit down. Body language people, can you imagine the body language we had when we sat down? Oh, yeah. He sat there. He made this guy look happy. He sat there. He crossed his arms. He had his head back. He had that stare. And it was just like, But we know you can't overreact to that. We just know that, even though it's hard. So I got a difficult conversation. I got to make this work. I look at Ricky Jean Francois, and I had this one, I had to ask the question. I said, look, I've never met you a day in my life. Why do you think I'm one mean dude? See, I think my friends are tricking me. There's no way he said that. I'm just going to ask him the question, and he's going to say I never said it, and then I'm going to go, good, ha, 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 and we'll shake hands and all that kind of stuff. And I said, why do you think I'm one mean dude? This guy don't flinch. He goes, because every time I see you, you look mean. I'm confused. My word of honor. I've never seen this guy in my life. And I told him, I said, I've never seen him. Where have you ever seen me? He said, with more feeling, he said, I seen you at the business school. Remember old Seba? I seen you at the business school, and you always look mean. I'm like, now I'm really confused. I'm like, I've never taught you. Where have you ever seen me? I see you in between classes, and you always look mean. I'm like, you don't even go to class. He goes, you can only take so much, and you throw it. And he goes, but when I do. My friends, I don't want to be melodramatic, but I'm going to be melodramatic. It was then and there. But when I do, it hit me. I figured it all out. I saw 24 years and no library. I saw 24 years and a folder of failure. I saw 24 years. It's melodramatic. It's true. I'm like, I figured it all out. It took me this long to figure it all out. He said, but when I do, it hit me. We know this, you got to know this. If you forgot it, you got to remember this. There's this concept of negotiations that we teach. The main thing you need to know about negotiations, because it's more than just numbers and all that kind of stuff, which is important. You got to know about this concept called the thin slice. The thin slice says that people, this is behavioral science by all the big people in Caltech and MIT. The thin slice says people can see you in something as quick as 1/24th of a second up to 15 seconds, not hear a word you say, and formulate an opinion of you. If I may, 1/24th of a second is this fast. In 1/24th of a second, somebody can see you all the way up to 15 seconds and formulate an opinion of you, and that becomes their brand image of you. Wow, we know that. Let me help you get a better picture of what one moment like that can happen. You know Leonard Fournette, the great Leonard Fournette? Leonard Fournette was the man. He was a kid. He came to LSU. He was everything. He was a superstar we've never seen before. A running back, good-looking, well-built, smart, nice, clean-cut, polite, and a great athlete. Leonard Fournette came in and still is a wonderful person. But in his freshman year at LSU, he did something terribly wrong. He made an awful mistake. What did he do? He did it in Tiger Stadium on a Saturday night in September in front of 97,845 fans in that north end zone that you made famous. Leonard scores his first touchdown ever. He was so happy, he does a Heisman Trophy pose. You know how fast the Heisman Trophy pose is? 1/26th of a second. Yes, we click it. 1/26th of a second, all of a sudden that wonderful guy, he was arrogant, a brat, cocky, and those were the nice people. The national media tore, they shredded him to pieces. It took all the way to Birmingham in August at Media Day in front of 900 credentialed people for people to see the real Leonard Fournette. My friends, that's what 1/24th of a second is. Now, I'm telling you, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And right there we got on record, don't do it. But back in the international world, they do this study on rolling your eyes. Oh, don't do it. I just said it 7 times. You roll your eyes and you're done. That's how fast people, they do this study on rolling your eyes. You're finished. My friends, it's the thin slice. Now, there's the good side of the thin slice too. We don't have time to talk about that, but there's the good side of the thin slice. You need to know that people can see you when you don't know they're seeing you, and they can formulate opinions of you. So therefore, my advice, my homework, I'm giving you all homework. What is your default look? By the way, if you forgot, if you've never met me, I still don't have it all figured out. I can't do it. But I come here to make sure you're not me one day. If you see me one day, I'll either be at the local university or at the Walmart. That's just where I spend my time. Anyway, but if you see me, this is my default look of happiness. You want some of this? Now you see why I have a folder of failure? 24 years. Nobody, all they said is, all you wear is khaki pants, white shirt, and red ties. Okay, I have a fleet of khaki pants. I get my clothes at garage sales, but that's all. But it's not the clothes. It's not growing a mustache or moving to Montana like somebody did. It's your default look. Ricky Francois, what I found out later, He saw me in the thin slice moment. He saw me in between classes. So I finished a class lecture. I'm very happy. I'm going to go to my office and have a peanut butter and mustard sandwich. This is my default look of happiness as I leave the classroom to go to my office. And I pass him in the hallway. You know that person. You pass them. You want to trip them, kick them. Here's the sad news. I now teach in a classroom with 800 students. Now, I don't read evaluations, so I don't know if I'm any good or not. I don't read them. I can't handle them. I can't handle the truth, so I don't know. I just pray. I really do. I've never looked. I looked in 1982, and I have never looked again. So anyway, I just pray it works out. But you don't want to be in a classroom with that guy because that guy or gal represents that university. You get it? I'm not saying walk around like that. I ain't saying that. But I'm saying you got to figure out what your default look is. Here's what you do tonight. Just do it if you only if you care. Go home tonight. We got one right here. Go home tonight. Go find the room that has a mirror. So here's how you do it. You go home by yourself. Tell your loved ones, love you, love you, love you. Got to go. Got homework. Homework, just trust me, I got homework. You walk into the room that has a mirror. Right there. Free. So don't look at it. Freeze. Strike that default look you've been giving me now. Yeah. Okay, strike that default look. That's your everyday look. Fair enough? Turn and look at the mirror. Oof, I can't do it. I can't do it. If you flinch, you got a problem. You got a problem. Now, you're good, but you're going to get good more better. If you look in that mirror and your default look is what you think it isn't, but it is, you've got to do something about it. Now, you can't do this. You can't go from what you are right now to this tomorrow, or you're a nut and I'll look nuttier. But what you got to do, I'm telling you, I do it all the time with everybody. You name a person, they want it. They want it. There's a muscle right here, right here. And you got to be able to tweak it. Not change it, but you got to be able to tweak it. You got to go from this miserable default look to just, I'm not saying, to a tweak right here. You can't go from this, but the muscle is right here. And you'll look in the mirror and you'll see it. And what you'll do is you'll tweak it just a little bit, and then you become approachable. Then you look like you care. And back to this answer right here, that I got to elevate more. Then that's how you listen. Because everybody tells me, I'm just thinking. That's how I think. I said, don't think anymore. I mean, I get it. You get it. But you got to learn how to think better. This is, and there's some wonderful terms they call it. And they're all glorious terms what will happen to your brand if you can find that default look muscle right here and tweak it. Let me tell you why. I know I'm running out of time, but I have 5 minutes. We're okay? 5, 3, 4. I got to do this just to help my loser friend over here. So anyway, I got to give you partial credit. So anyway, well, hold on, Judge. I don't have an answer, but anyway, it's going to be too hard. But help me with this real fast. So I pick on eye contact. So everybody's okay with the default look? Yeah. Do it. I'm telling you. And it's not. By the way, all those people I just talked about, they did it. Yeah. And there are more who do it better than that. Okay, that's the difference maker. But now I'm going to give you the hard assignment. This is where you separate from the competition. And you have competition. You have competition. And that's not big. Here is the hardest thing to do. You now know the default look matters. The person across from you has no clue what it is. So my advice to you henceforth and forevermore is manage your default look, but don't overreact to the default look of the person across from you. Hence the problem with eye contact. Because with eye contact, what you want is you want that person like, oh, and you're locked in on that person. When that person is sitting there going, and I'm going on a vacation in a week or something like that, and you lock on them, and then you see all the other people who are miserable looking, when in fact my experience has taught me this. This is my simple world of experience. The person who looks engaging and lovable and likable, maybe they are, maybe they're not, it doesn't matter. But you should act like that. But I know this for almost a fact. The person who looks miserable is paying attention. That's the look they have when they built the $1 million business you want a piece of. That's the look they have when they think. And so my advice is seek them out. Seek the grumpy, complaining customer, because that's the person who needs this likability for you to be able to resolve the problem. Y'all know all about whenever there's failure and you have recovery, that your brand is elevated forever. Y'all know that study. Embrace that person. You don't want them, but you're going to find them. The person who looks miserable, that's where eye contact can be valuable. Find them. And don't let your voice change because they look miserable. Be engaging to them and engage to the person who looks engaging. But don't overreact to the default look of the people, the person, the individual across from you. But you got to know this. You got to know this. They're looking at you. And they're looking at you when you're not looking at them. Lastly, my best friend in the world is Eric Martin. I love Eric Martin in the world of sports. I met him back in a thin slice moment years ago. And in the world of sports, there's nobody better. And as a friend, he's the best. And I've known him since his freshman years at LSU all the way through the Saints. His best friend is a guy named Michael Jordan. So my best friend's best friend is Michael Jordan, which makes Michael Jordan my best friend. For the record, I don't know Michael Jordan. But Eric's around Michael Jordan. He's around Michael Jordan so much he's bored with Michael Jordan because he's around. I've only watched Michael Jordan a moment or two in my life, but I've watched Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan has this mantra that you have to have. His mantra when he was a young basketball player was that the camera never blinked. And in the early days as a basketball player, it was a TV camera. But no longer, as he builds the Michael Jordan billion-dollar brand, that's really good and legitimately a billion-dollar brand, he remembers now that the camera is not the TV camera, it is what camera? The human eye. They see you click, click from across the room. They see you click, click coming down the stairways. They see you click, click in a meeting. They see you listening to a presentation. Michael Jordan knows this, and I have watched this. Michael Jordan knows when he's in the public eye that even though he may not be seeing people, they're going to be seeing him, and he wants to make sure he projects himself in a way that is likable. I'm sorry, you are no different from him when it comes to that. You are the same thing. The camera never blinks. People see you. They formulate these opinions of you. And then when they're able to meet you and have a difficult conversation and they see that you have a lot of smarts to you, but you have this warmth and this likability, then things get more better for you. So in conclusion, and if you have a question, and I'm sorry I rambled a little bit, but I want you to do your homework, please. I want you to go look at the mirror. I want you to figure out what your default look is. I want you to find that $1 million muscle, branding $1 million muscle. Right. Yeah. Tweak it and see the difference it makes in everything you do. Yes, sir.
Question. You've already somewhat answered it. Could you identify for us some high-profile people that have perfected what you just described? You mentioned Jordan, but any others come to mind?
Drew Brees. I just think what Drew Brees does is phenomenal. Let me take down the Drew Brees. We have time? I guess we have time.
Sure. Anyone's welcome to.
If y'all got to leave, let me take it real fast down the Drew Brees path, if I may. I pick on Drew. I love Drew. I've never met Drew, but why would I want to meet him? I mean, he's wonderful. But Drew Brees gets it. You know, we know this as Wall Street Journal. Everybody knows this. That there's 11 minutes of action in football. That's it. From snap to tackle, it's 11 minutes. That's just easy math. 5 minutes offense, 5 minutes. Yeah, so you're paying $40 million for 5 minutes? Yeah, it's the game. So where's the other 3 hours? The camera's following everybody. Drew Brees, when he took the class, he didn't, but I always say he did. When he took the class, it looks like he did. When he took the class, I wish he did. He knows coming out of the tunnel, that camera zeroes in on him, and he's got that look of, I'm serious. The camera never blinks. He gets on the sideline, takes it off. He starts to lick his dirty fingers. Ugh, can you imagine those fingers are? He made the lick so popular. But he's engaging. He gets it. Then he sits there with this little playbook, and he's going through the plays. Y'all see him with the plays? There are no plays. He's showing pictures of his kid's birthday party. And y'all are sitting there going, God, he's so intense. And he's telling those receivers, you dummies, look like I got something here. So we're going with Chick-fil-A, we did this. And he's engaging. So now he's smart. And then I'm telling you, this is the goal behind Drew Brees. This is my best example. There are others, but this is the greatest. And then he's in the huddle. Y'all see him in the huddle? He's yet to take a snap for $30 million. Then he takes a snap. He hands off. Well, that's hard. I still don't see the $30 million. Then he throws it to you and you catch it. What does he always do? Then he throws it to you and you miss it, which we knew you would. And he's like, it's okay. And then he throws it to you and you gallop down the field 30 minutes later and you score a touchdown, and 30 more minutes later he's out there jumping 2 inches high. And then here's where Drew Brees is gold. When he fails, when Drew Brees fails, what does he always do? Man, slaps himself around, beats himself up. They go, easy, Drew, here's extra $1 million. Relax, you'll be okay. Because he learned, and I loved Aaron Brooks. Aaron Brooks is hated. I loved Aaron Brooks. Aaron Brooks was like 10 years ahead of the game. When Aaron Brooks, remember Aaron Brooks? Y'all too young for this. Aaron Brooks was a quarterback. He threw interceptions. He came off the field. And he came off the field like this. And they booed him. He didn't mean to smile. That was his look of disappointment. And everybody's like, throw him out of here. You got to cry. You got to be mad. You got to be. So Drew said, watch this. You're going to see me disappointed when I throw an interception. That's the perfect example. And then here's the gold. Here's the gold. It was the interviews. What Drew Brees did in the interviews, he made every reporter feel like that was the smartest answer ever. I've listened to Drew. I've watched Drew on mute. I've watched Drew live. He's not the only one. I watch a lot of them. But what Drew Brees did, whenever they asked a question, and you know it's the same old question. You remember he hurt his little finger one time? He like broke his pinky or something. They asked him in a 1 week period 18 times, what about your little pinky? What about your finger? And on the 18th time, he goes, you know, I appreciate you asking. Let me explain to you what happened. He wanted to go, you dummy, hadn't you heard me say it 50? But he makes everybody feel like this is the first time. So that tone of voice is caring. And the way he feels the questions, my listening person, it's like this. Yes, rather than like most athletes and most professionals field questions. Yes, what we're going to do, our plan is to do this. Yes, oh, absolutely. So that's why and so I use him as the example. But I'll tell you this, if you really want to see who's good, I think you judge for yourself, but here's what you do. You hit that mute button and watch interviews, and you'll see why the ones who are good, that's why they're good. Great question, and I think everybody can control it. But to me, I'm sorry, a good tone of voice and the tweak, it's the foundation. It's a guarantee. Things get just better. Okay. Thank y'all so much. Good to be with y'all again.